Alright, since another gay atheist wants to have a Skype debate with me, I'll have a Skype debate with him. I mean, he said some nasty things about Maoist Rebel, but, in general, he seems more intelligent than Grit. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt. Although I would prefer, if I'm going to have a Skype, discussion with him, I'd prefer it be on the terms that, the troll posse is involved. That the troll posse be there to, just be there to make sure it's not a trap and a.
Well, I'm sorry for the delay, Jim Profit, but kinda lost internet for a while. But if you want a one-on-one debate still, feel free to send me a private message. But before you do, allow me to give you a little taste of what you'd be in store for. And to make it fair, I'm invoking the handicap rule.
So I'm here to refute something another gay atheist said.
In kind. You see, I'm not a libertarian, contrary to the title of the video response you directed towards me.
That's his YouTube name, another gay atheist.
Right, because Jim Profit Bolshevik is a much better username.
Yeah, and it's not even about the video. Maoist Rebel did that all on his own.
I'm sorry. I couldn't quite understand what you were saying there, as you had some fat Canadian retard's dick stuck in your mouth.
But you go on to say in the comment section, because someone above you said that the USA doesn't even have gay marriage, and then you go,
parts of it do. And, depending on the Supreme Court rules, the entirety of the US could have it.
I don't care. My sexual orientation is independent of my economic beliefs. I can petition and protest my government trespasses against me.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea that the fact that I liked penis also meant fuck capitalism.
Are you fucking serious? You actually think you have a voice in a capitalist society?
Alright. Here's the deal, buddy. You're using a lot of vague terminology here, so I can't go after a specific. But what I can say is this. One can view that my ability to vote is having a voice in a capitalist society. One could view that my YouTube channel is having a voice in a capitalist society. And when it comes to a capitalist society, that itself is another vague terminology. Is capitalism the same everywhere? No, it's not. Capitalism in the United Kingdom and capitalism in the United States are two different things, and they're vastly disparate from capitalism in China, where China has a very free market, actually.
Really? I mean, maybe if you were a millionaire you might, but typically, no. And I'm not saying that it's because it's an oppressive regime that teaches people that the politicians are gods and things like that, like the fabrications you have to make for North Korea.
So apparently I've written the books and the websites, and apparently was the defectors that I quote and cite and that were cited in those books and websites. Apparently I'm a shapeshifter, and yet I choose to look like this.
What I'm saying is you live under a capitalist society, and unless you own land, resources, labor, things.
The fact that I have 24 hours in a day to use every day I'm alive, the fact that I have enough monetary resources that I can actually afford to have the high-speed internet connection I'm using, the webcam, the laptop, and the place that I'm living in, really says that I do have resources. Maybe you should pick a better term. You know, one that's not so vague that you can weasel out of it.
You have no voice in society. That's just the simple fact of the matter. Why would they listen to you? It's not even a matter of if they should or shouldn't, but why would they listen to somebody that doesn't own any land or resources?
I don't think this is the problem with capitalism. It's the problem with the fact that we live in a fucking society thing where people actually matter. I mean, even if you got like Nambla, or like the king of the pedos, let's just say that, and he has $6 billion to throw at the government for lobbying, he's probably going to get pedophilia legalized. Because the vast majority of people, including myself, think pedophilia is fucking wrong and should be illegal. Are you going to say that, oh, but because he has $6 million magically, or $6 billion, or even $6 trillion, let's say $6 trillion, some crazy amount that will never fucking happen, and my cat's going to stick... Look at my cat's asshole. No, I mean, do you really think it's going to get legalized just because that person can say, oh, here's $6 trillion? No. It doesn't work that way.
Maybe then, in order to get leverage, we should all own land and resources. If we all owned the land and resources, then our opinions would much more matter.
How so? Because you basically just said, in a capitalist society, if you have the most amount of resources, then your voice matters. That's the only time your voice matters. But, yet in this society, everyone has the same amount of resources, so everyone's voice just matters the same and therefore is irrelevant, really, when you think about it in that way. But here's the deal. The problem is not with resources. It's with whether or not you have support for what you want. That's how it works. Okay? So, let's say you have our current democratic government. If you want to get something legalized or you want a certain regulation, what you need to do is lobby the government. You need to get people together of a similar or of the same mindset or a very similar mindset where you're not like, oh, well, you agree with me on this, but we disagree on this, but we're not complete enemies. And let's work together then. Which it happens all the time. You sit there and get together and pull your resources together and lobby the government. That's how it works. And if you get out-lobbied, that's the way it is. But you can't sit there and just be like, oh, well, this is because, the rich control everything. No. If you pulled everything together, if you got enough poor people together, in fact, you say this later in the video, get enough poor people together, yes, you can actually get changes that you want through. And when it comes to your communist society, because remember, communism's anti-state, go ahead and justify North Korea in your communist philosophy, by the way. But, because communism is anti-state, if you're in a group that's being discriminated against, it's not like you can go to the government for protection, because there's no state. You can't go to the government and say, hey, can we get some laws passed so it says it's wrong to treat us like shit? No, you can't do fuck all. And if you're in the group that's discriminating against the said group that's discriminated against, and you say, hey, let's not treat this group like shit, you're just gonna get lumped in with the group that's discriminated against. And there's nothing you can fucking do, because you're one individual person acting alone.
Because we would be in charge of production. So, if production only belongs to a few, then only a few are going to be listened to.
Labor unions. Explain.
It's just that simple, man. And this concept eludes you. You're an ultra-capitalist.
I don't recall ever saying how much I like licking Ayn Rand's dead, decrusting, decaying cunt. And that's assuming I could go back in time and actually be when she was alive so I could lick her dead, decrusting, decaying cunt.
On top of being a minority class, that is of course going to be targeted by the bourgeois.
It's really cute how you think you can talk down to me in this video, and how you think you can use my sexuality as some sort of bargaining chip in order to convince me to be a communist or to see the world as through your eyes. That's not how it's going to work. Because, like I said in that comment, my economic beliefs are completely independent of my sexuality. It's really pissing me off that you think that somehow because I'm gay, I'm naturally going to be more open to communism. In fact, someone on one of my Maliceable News 2 videos said how Soviet Union was so much better towards gay people than America is, and I'd like you to point me to a point in Russian history where Russia wasn't homophobic.
Necessarily right now, I don't consider homosexuals to be on the top agenda of the most targeted list, but it could happen. That's what capitalism is about.
Thought capitalism was about enlightened self-interest and, profit and those things, not fuck the gays.
Capitalism is about creating artificial enemies to distract the people from the fact that there is a very literal class war between the rich and the poor.
At the end of the day, another day older.
So they'll use any excuse they have to. In this particular case, I would say it's Muslims. It's not gay people, it's not atheists, it's not anything like that, it's Muslims. And the reactionary conservators on the MRAs just want to believe it's women. Oh, women are the reason our lives suck. Well, your lives would suck anyway. It has nothing to do with women. It has nothing to do with anything besides the fact that there are people above you to command you at the bottom. The fact is, they own the land, they own the resources, they own your fucking life.
That was really depressing. And really stupid. I mean, like I said, if you really wanted to make changes, why don't you organize with people of a like mind and actually try and do shit rather than bitch about shit on the internet?
So, you have to take away from the capitalist class. You have to take away the resources of which they use to, destroy you and to basically hold you hostage in your own fucking land. So, but I don't think you're gonna get that. Even me explaining it to you as simply as possible, you don't want to understand.
So, the guy who is defending North Korea, one of the most authoritarian and totalitarian states there is going to tell me about communist philosophy when communist philosophy is anti-state and anti-class, when, as anyone who's looked into North Korea realizes, that there's a vast difference between those who live in Pyongyang and those who work on the collective farms.
You want to believe that North Korea is this terrible, terrible place.
I'm sorry, I don't like believing in that depressing death in the world and humanity is fucked shit. I'm sorry, I'm not amendum. I mean, I would like North Korea to be a successful country that acknowledges, what most people would consider basic human rights, like not going to a forced labor camp or being publicly executed. But that's not how it works. I mean, it's not what reality points to. And so, therefore I don't believe it. It's not that I don't, or it's not that I want to believe that North Korea is doing these things. It's that is what reality has pointed to.
Where everybody is enslaved. Guess what? I don't see people running to get away from North Korea.
Really? Because it's not like there's a shit ton of news articles, documentaries, even books saying that, hey, I'm trying to flee North Korea. Or I'm fleeing North Korea. I mean, shit. Like, do you just, jerk off to porn or what, a Malice Rebel News 2 video I'm taking? Is that all you do? And plus, of course you wouldn't see them. You don't live in North Korea. And I know you don't, because you don't have access to, you have access to YouTube.
It wouldn't be very difficult. They could get on a boat or something and get away.
So, people, regular peasants, collective farm workers in North Korea, are magically supposed to just hop on a fucking boat when they're in a country that permits you to get things like radios and TVs and just leave a country that highly censors its internet. It's just gonna go, oh, you're just buying this boat, and has where its Navy screen to the. I mean, what the hell? Have you just said, I'm sitting here in the United States, and I'm just gonna assume what life is like in North Korea without actually talking and listening to people who've been there. I mean, as people who lived there. Not people who just go see what the government wants them to see. Like Pyongyang.
I don't even know where you're coming from on this. Why target Maoist Rebel at all?
because he is a sore oozing with pus on the genitalia of humanity.
What did Maoist Rebel ever do to you?
I don't know, repeatedly lied about me, sicked a bunch of sycophantic fanboys after me, although he did boost my subscriber rating quite a bit, so I guess that kind of worked its way out. But he also claimed I was only gay to rebel against my parents. Yeah. He's done quite a bit. I mean, before that, he was just some retard I just laughed at. And I got drunk one night and thought, hey, fuck, I'll deal with this dumb asshole.
What in your mind made you think, oh, I need to go after Maoist Rebel because he's defending North Korea? Who the fuck cares? What, do you think that North Korea is going to become a threat to American security?
No, North Korea won't become a threat to American security because it's already a threat to American security. And here's how. Do you not acknowledge that the South Korea, the Republic of Korea, is one of the largest trading partners with the United States? Yes or no? If the answer to that question is yes, then do you not understand how that would be a threat to U.S. economic security? Also, they're one of the largest trading partners of China. North Korea is one of their allies. Oh, and also one of the largest trading partners of the European Union, another large market. So, if North Korea invaded South Korea, it'd fuck up the world economy quite a bit.
And that we have to go to war with the North Koreans.
You know, you might want to stop assuming things about my philosophies and my beliefs, because this is the third time blatantly you've just made an assumption. I mean, apparently I'm this ultra-capitalist libertarian neocon who just wants to launch a preemptive strike. I mean, what the hell? I don't want to go with North Korea. That'd be way too costly, way too bloody. I mean, it might be the only way to get rid of the fucking Kim regime and actually sort shit out, but I don't think it's fucking worth it. I know China wouldn't be fucking happy about it, because then they're going to have a much harder time dealing with the whole problem of all the North Koreans fleeing into China, and that would fuck up their economy, as a massive influx of cheap labor would tend to do.
Kill innocent North Koreans because of this imaginary threat that they've built up. Because last time I checked, North Korea doesn't have anything. They don't want to do anything to anybody except for maybe South Korea for fucking with them.
Now, unfortunately, due to my fast metabolism, I'm starting to sober up, and I'm unfortunately having to drink Old Crow. So I'm not gonna, well, have anything. I don't have anything left to mix it with, so it's not gonna be tolerable. Plus, I really should be smoking indoors. But I'm drunk, and this is what I do. Here's the deal. You are so damn ignorant. It's pathetic. Did South Korea blow up a North Korean commercial passenger airliner to dissuade people from going to the 1988 Olympics in Pyongyang? No. North Korea did that to South Korea when it came to the 88 Seoul Olympics. Did North Korea do a bunch of things like, I don't know, tunnel under the demilitarized zone? No. North Korea did that. Has South Korea shelled North Korean islands? Or sunk one of their warships? Or hijacked one of their passenger planes? Or killed 2 U.S. servicemen who were trying to trim a tree and resulted in Operation Paul Bunyan? No. North Korea fucks with South Korea a lot. Now, South Korea isn't perfect, and I'll acknowledge that. Now, dude, I'm gonna end this here because, like I said, I'm sobering up. But you go on to talk about how broken the U.S. system is and how poor people, you know, they want to work and then they're not, you know, lazy bastards, and I agree with you. Although there are exceptions, you can't make generalizations. But me and you have completely different ways of going about this. To me, the problems with the system we have in the US is not that the system itself is bad, it's that the inputs are bad. No matter what system you have, if you have bad inputs, you're going to get bad outputs. And so I think a much better solution to the problems we have would be to educate the citizenry. Not fuck it and have a revolution. And the thing is, buddy, you're pretty damn ignorant because you think all capitalism is the same. And it's not. There's many different ways to look at economics when it comes to capitalism. Many. Just as there's many different ways to look at Marxist economic theories. So, I don't really want to debate you because you're clearly living in a black and white worldview. And so the fact that I believe in a much more mixed economy than what we have probably kind of would go over your head, and you just want to stick to the fact that I somehow love Ayn Rand or something. So, if you want to, PM me. But if this video is any guide, it won't be pretty for you. Have a nice evening.